We're on.
We live.
Mm-hmm.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Hear Me Out podcast live stream episode 11. Episode 11. Joined by my boys BT, Franco, as always. Happy belated to Brooks.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Brody.
5 years old.
Yes, sir.
The big 2-5.
The big two. You know what's funny? You know what's funnier than 24? 25.
Yes, sir. My boy Brooks. Hey, man.
Yes,
What
sir.
athlete is number
Happy
25?
birthday comments.
Ben Simmons, I think. What athlete wears 25?
Yeah, I don't know anybody that wears 25. Your LaShawn McCoy year, your Ben Simmons year, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So let's go ahead and jump into topic number one, or should we wait until we get a couple people in the stream?
Well, we can let a couple of people trickle in if you want. It's fun with the audiences here, and we see their feedback.
Everybody, if you're in here, say happy birthday
But
to
man,
Brooke.
we had a good time yesterday for Brooks' birthday. That was a good
Definitely.
spot
Yes,
you
sir.
chose.
Yeah, we went to Honey Pig last night in Rockville, Maryland.
Sure
It
did.
was Korean barbecue. Very, very good with some soju in there, Korean liquor.
Oh boy, that shit crept
Yeah.
up on me yesterday.
Everybody had a good time for sure.
Oh
Brooks,
my
since
goodness.
you come from like a Korean background, are you like picky about restaurants when they claim to be or serve Korean food?
I can't say I really have or really am because the ones that we always go to, my mom finds out about, or we've gone with like my extended family on my mom's side, so it's never been a problem for me.
What about you, Pedro? Your parents, are they ever like harsh critics of like Brazilian restaurants?
Harsh about like the food, maybe not, but maybe more so like the service, if anything. Like they've always been more of like they want the best quality service, even if that compromises a little bit of the food. Like they're more into getting good service at a restaurant, like for the ambiance, the experience. But like in terms of Brazilian stuff, nah, they're not really harsh critics of the actual food.
Right, I want to make sure my audio's okay. So the
Yeah,
audience out there, can you guys hear my volume just fine?
Yes, sir. HMO live stream episode 11.
11. Yeah, before we got on, we were talking about Kevin Hart, but that's one of the topics, right?
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit. Talk about what happened with Kevin Hart. Would somebody say something about that?
No, it just came into my mind, like what to talk about right now.
Yeah, man. I guess we could like hit on that before we get into our first topic about how Kevin Hart, the No Fucks Given Netflix special that he ended up.
That's what he called it?
He called it No Fucks Given to Netflix, and essentially implies or says that his daughter is a hoe because she has several crushes in her middle school, just trying to make a cringe, shock value joke, right? And then he ended up getting, obviously, it's 2020, he ended up getting hella backlash for that comment, for that joke. And he ended up going on to this audio app. What's the name of that app, Brooks? You said it earlier.
Clubhouse
Clubhouse. Went on Clubhouse with a bunch of Twitter randoms, and he was replying to people just crying, you know what I mean? Like, not literally crying, but just bitching, like, you know. Why would you go into the Twitter sphere? Why would you go into the Twitter sphere and try to argue with people that are going to, you know, put you in the wrong no matter how you see it, you know what I mean? And then he brought up Bill Cosby at some point, you know, like some type of reference between him and Hannibal Buress, saying a joke that ended up getting Bill Cosby in trouble for the whole thing that was going down with the pills. Do you know what I'm talking about, Brooks?
Yeah, Hannibal Buress basically dry snitched on Bill Cosby, but it needed to be said.
Tell us about that. I'm not really too hip to that.
I just know he had usually at like a comedy club or like at a special or something, and he was just joking about Bill Cosby. At the time, allegedly pilling or dropping pills into women's drinks and, you know, having his way with them. And then, like, I think a couple of years later or so, he ended up getting investigated for it. We find out it's been like what, like close to 100 women, maybe over, that were saying, yeah, Bill Cosby did this to me back in the 80s, 70s, 90s, whatever. Yeah, I mean, when you have that many people making allegations like that, it's probably true. So, of course, he's in jail now. But, yeah.
Good. I mean, if shit like that is going down, you know what I mean? Like, that's the only place you should be. But, yeah, man, that's Kevin Hart, No Fucks Given is the name of his Netflix special. And then he ended up going on Twitter and gave hella fucks. Just
Was he
responding to all-
apologizing? I didn't. I didn't pay attention.
I mean, it's not really him apologizing as much as it is him giving a fuck about what people think and what people, you know, have to say about
so
his
he got
joke.
mad.
Yeah, you said that.
Yeah.
You said, right, Franco, that's not cool, like, even as a joke to say about your daughter, right?
Yeah, before we got on camera, I said I don't find calling your daughter a hoe acceptable anytime, not even as a joke. You're supposed to protect your daughter. Like, would you want other people saying that about your daughter, like to degrade her like that? How are you gonna say that about her even as a joke? That's like giving a free pass for other people to say that about your daughter, in a way. So it's just not unacceptable. Like, and like, but it's kind of like a betrayal to your daughter to joke like that about her from her middle school days. Like, those are days of innocence when talking about crushes.
While I agree with that, the way I see it is Kevin Hart, I personally, you know, wouldn't make that joke. I didn't find it funny, but I'm not going to also say that, you know, he shouldn't have said it, because I think at this point in his career, he's trying to kind of regain some momentum for his name. You know, like, whether it's right or wrong, the guy is trying to do something that I guess he thought was within the context of his job, which is a comedian to tell jokes. But he has to be more aware that we live in 2020.
He can say it if he wants. Like, I don't want to control what he says, but there's gonna be consequences, like you're saying.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. He didn't think about that. I mean, he's too rich to care at this point. I think he's just more focused now on the attention and the you know, momentum for his career. Money wise, he's good. He's straight. He doesn't need money. He just needs.
It's not even like this is the first time he's gotten into heat for some stuff that he said or did. Like, what was it? The Oscar stuff. Him allegedly, I think it was like a tweet time. Him calling someone like the F word or something like that. Him cheating on his wife a couple of times. Like, yeah, the dude's he's a hot mess.
Was there any statement by the daughter?
Nah.
Probably not. Nah. I mean, how old is she? Like 12, 13 years old? I doubt.
Damn.
Oh,
So
she's
whatever
still
they
in
say,
middle
man.
school. I thought he was talking about like her when she was younger.
Nah.
Damn.
No, she's literally a child. She's a fetus.
So there's just a lack of Kevin Hart putting himself in his daughter's position, like when he says something like that. Like, there's people in her middle school who are going to hear that
And clown on her.
Yeah.
On the joke.
Yeah.
These middle school kids are ruthless, bro.
That's whack, bro. But you know, I mean, as far as him being a comedian, I think he did what was within the means of his profession, which is to tell jokes. But I guess we can all agree that these kind of jokes don't fly in 2020. This stuff doesn't work anymore. But
what do you guys think in the chat? Let us know if you think that Kevin Hart is still funny, or if you thought that joke was just doing too much. We were talking before the stream about how it's probably trying too hard.
Yeah, definitely not. Definitely trying too hard. But that's Kevin Hart for you, trying too hard.
What else has he done?
That Cat Williams and Dave Chappelle, Chris Tucker are probably funnier than Kevin Hart too. So let us know if you agree with that.
And fucking Cat Williams both made me laugh out the pit of my stomach on several occasions. Even now, the thing about Dave Chappelle, which is so crazy, this guy knows how to speak to an audience and hold your attention, whether he's being funny or dead serious. I don't know if you guys heard when he talked about the whole George Floyd thing, where he had like a 20-minute, or no, I don't know how long it was, but the name of the special was 846, which was in honor, well, not in honor, but it's the infamous time that a cop put his knee on the back of George Floyd's neck, I should say. Um, and when he talks, man, he just keeps your attention. He's able to talk and be able to portray a message while still kind of like not keep like little lighthearted jokes here and there. Dave Chappelle never tries too hard. I've never seen the guy try too hard. The day he does is the day he won't be funny anymore. That's when comedians go out of style, is when you can tell it's like, damn, it's so forced. It's not funny anymore. Or if it ever was. I don't know. People like Kevin Hart, I guess, right? Does anybody in this chat genuinely find Kevin Hart to be funny? Because I've heard a lot of people say he's the best. He's the GOAT. So if any of y'all 11 people...
Kevin Hart?
I never thought Kevin Hart was funny, let alone the GOAT of comedy.
I've definitely heard of... Look, he might be one of the greatest in terms of success, but in terms
popularity,
of actually, I don't know.
Like what about Kevin Hart, Pedro and Brooks makes you guys say that he tries too hard? For me, it's jokes like this, but what other examples do you guys see Kevin Hart do that makes it seem like he tries too hard?
Dude, just like him not relying on his jokes to make you laugh. He relies on his likeness, you know what I mean? He does a lot of movements, he uses props, which is all normal comedian shit, but you need to be funny if you're a comedian. You can have the props, the sound effects, the skits, the fucking, repeating yourself throughout the show, which is a common thing that comedians like to do, like, you gonna learn today, like, shit that comedians repeat throughout their bit. And Kevin Hart never seems to rely on his jokes. He really wants to get you with the antics, the acting, the being like the small guy, but like, fiery or whatever. The jokes are lacking. That's all it is for me. The jokes and jokes and jokes, they're lacking.
Yeah, I feel like back in the day when he would do like the little physical comedy and doing like the little "you gonna learn today," and he's got like the microphone hanging around his like those things are funny to me, or just like the physical comedy in general was funny, but then like it just feels like now he's just trying to force things, as in force people to say certain things, like calling the COVID the vid instead of calling the COVID like the Rona, like people are saying, or saying just like whatever.
What does he call it?
The vid.
The bay?
The vid. Like
the vid?
Video, but vid. Yeah. It's just, I don't know how else to explain it. It's just like a gut feeling that I had that he's just trying to force it, trying too hard to be funny.
My goodness, bro.
Yeah.
He really that.
Yeah, like I was telling you guys, like before we got on, we went live, how I've never once laughed at a Kevin Hart joke. Like back when I used to see like his comedy like with friends, I would just be sitting there the whole time like. And he'd be like, "No, she wasn't ready." I would just be like,
He had a moment in time where I genuinely found him to be funny, and that's when he was like starting to blow up from stand-up comedy. That's when he was at his best, because this man was just telling like, just some fresh, interesting jokes, but it became very played out. His whole act became played out pretty quickly, and if you're gonna survive in anything, you got to adapt to the times. And you know what I mean? We're saying 2020, you shouldn't be saying those whole daughter jokes. Maybe that would have worked in like 2003, maybe.
Probably not even, man. Like
2020, I don't know.
That's your daughter. I think even back then.
It's a joke. They're comedians. They just tell jokes.
I know, but even back then, when people would do like shock value jokes, they never went after like their daughters who are children, and they called them a hoe.
They cook his son like all the time.
No, but would they call them like a hoe? That's different.
In Franco's defense too, like someone like Bernie Mac, right? Bernie Mac had a joke about his daughter, his adopted daughter being so bad, and like her going downstairs late at night trying to steal cookies and just giving him a whole lot of attitude. That's completely different than saying, "Yeah, my daughter likes a lot of boys. She's a roller," that type of deal. You know what I mean?
Nah, I agree. I agree. It's a dumb joke, but it's still a joke. That's why I
Yeah.
personally wouldn't wouldn't kill him. But that's not something that I would say. You know what I mean? If I were a comedian, it's just
Or a father.
like you said, like that's a time of innocence. You know, you want to be uplifting your daughter, not fucking calling her a hoe. But enough Kevin
What
Hart.
happened to girl dad?
That's not even. Yeah, man. Come on, man. Do it for fucking Kobe, Kevin Hart. Let's move on to. This is not even in our slate of topics. We talk about Kevin Hart. We talk about this boxing match that happened on Saturday night. It was Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. coming out of their retirement. Mike Tyson 54, Roy Jones Jr. like 51, 52, something like that. And they went the entire 8 rounds, however many rounds it was, 8 5-minute rounds. It ended up being a draw. What did you guys think of Mike Tyson coming out of retirement, 16 years not having boxed? Did you guys think this was a good or bad thing for sports?
How many years?
16.
15 years. Oh, I thought it was 15.
2004.
I saw a lot of people complaining about it, and some people saying that it looked scripted.
Definitely.
It was just it was just like a money grab.
How do you script boxing?
Bro,
How do you script it? And
I
you
think
tell
that-
them like, all right, in this round you're gonna get knocked out. Let yourself get knocked out.
It doesn't work like that. What I mean by scripted is like if somebody doesn't get knocked out, it's going to be a tie. We're not going to give it to either one of these guys. There has to be either a knockout or if they make it, because Mike Tyson punished Roy Jones Jr. basically the entire fight, and then they still give it a tie because it's like, you guys made it. Let's reward both fighters here. That's what I think was like. There was no judge's scorecard. Usually at the end of a boxing match, they say, and this judge scores it this way for this person, this judge scores it, da-da-da. They didn't do any of that. They just went directly to an interview, both of them already standing there like a few seconds after the fight ended. Like, how the fuck did you know so quickly it was going to be a tie? Unless
But at least it wasn't like a professional fight. It was supposed to be an exhibition, right?
Right.
So maybe it's different that way.
But still. I mean, the exhibition. I guess I don't know anybody here that watches boxing. I gotta ask my homie Jay. He's my boxing dude that like I get my information from. Maybe that's how they do it.
So Ramiro.
Oh, Ramiro too. Ramiro. How can I forget? We always go to watch big fights at Ramiro's. Remember Floyd.
But what did Jay say about it?
Bro, he said it was whack. He said it was super whack. Saying like it was just a joke to the sport, like having Nate Robinson versus a YouTuber versus an NBA player that was never really that good at the at basketball. I mean, he was good at basketball. He was good at basketball, but he's not like All right.
He wasn't a superstar.
But he's not an accomplished player. Like he never won like All-Stars. He was never like a top 15, 20 player in the league at any point. But his crowning achievement in basketball, 3 NBA slam dunk championships, which is pretty good. That's pretty good. Like within the context of All-Star Weekend, that's solid. But who really thought that this 5'9" little ass dude, really no muscle, retired out of the NBA for like 3 years now, or however, he's like 36. You go up against a 23-year-old, much better shape, a guy who's been sparring, a guy who's been in actual boxing matches. You're going to put him up against somebody. Jake Paul is 6'2", 6'1". Nate Robinson's 5'9". Jake Paul had 10 inches of reach, like lengthwise with the arms, and Nate Robinson just doesn't know how to box. He was charging him, like literally charging him, and like trying to throw wild shit. Left his face open, and Jake Paul having a tiny bit of experience and way more muscle, boom, 3 times. The third one put him to sleep.
And this isn't me dissing Jake Paul. It just looks like those punches were like real slight. They were just like they were good jabs, and then they didn't have that much power behind them. But I'll say this: I didn't know that he was 6'1", 6'2". But then you saw that video.
Man.
You saw that video of him on Twitter, right, sparring and like knocking people or giving them a couple of good combinations. Like the dude can fight a little bit. He can scrap a little. I was pretty surprised, but. To think and Jake Paul is our age, like 23, 24 years old, yeah, it makes sense. But you're an NBA player, bro. You're a whole professional athlete. How do you let down professional athlete, black community down by getting knocked out by a YouTuber, bro? I Would have never thought that would have happened in 2020, let alone in my entire life. That should not have happened. Nate Robinson took the biggest L, and I understand people wanting to defend him, but nah, bro, you don't get to slide on that.
Is Jake Paul the guy who got canceled for laughing in the suicide forest when he saw a dead body?
Yeah, that's him.
No. Logan's the one who
Oh,
did.
that's Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Oh.
Jake
Oh
Paul.
yeah.
Look, I'm gonna give you guys a brief history of Jake Paul and Logan Paul from what I know. Okay, so Jake Paul.
They're brothers? They're related?
Jake and Logan Paul are brothers, and they're both YouTube megastars, 10, 15 million subscribers each, right? At one point, they did it together. They ended up doing their own shit because, you know, they wanted to grow individually. Jake Paul became a bigger YouTuber than Logan. Logan ended up having that forest incident where he live streamed himself or like filmed himself next to a dead body at a suicide forest in Japan, and he was just acting a fool. You know, Japanese people.
He laughed.
They're not shits. Japanese people are not with the shits when it comes to tourists coming out there acting stupid like that. So he got that, you know, that treatment from them, and he ended up coming back to the States, caught a lot of flack, and then Logan Paul got a podcast. He started ascending over his brother. His brother started having legal problems and mental problems, and he started just losing it. And he was getting raided by the FBI, throwing parties during COVID, all this shit.
Really?
And so now Logan Paul surpassed his brother after he had been surpassed, right? So what I think this Jake Paul thing is, now he's trying to become a boxer after boxing some YouTubers and winning. Now he wants to be a boxer, and, you know, more power to him, but box real people. Box other boxers. Go box against people your own fucking size.
Is he too
6'1".
afraid? Has any real boxer ever challenged him? Or has
No.
He's been doing celebrity stuff so far.
Bro, he's only fought straight pussy so far.
He's just been doing like celebrity boxing so far.
He's been boxing other... I know he boxed this other YouTuber called KSI Olajitivity, but I thought that was the only one. I didn't know he was boxing a whole bunch of the other YouTubers.
No. It's not a whole bunch. Like, from what I've seen like 3 fights of his and a couple sparring matches where he left this one dude leaking. But he's not fighting anybody that's like, you know, a real fighter. You know, he's fighting a bunch of guys. It's calculated. You know what I mean? He's a fucking YouTuber, bro. I'll give him credit. The guy is smart. He's not going to put up like any fight that he knows that he's going to get crushed. But then as trying to be a boxer, you're not going to get any better because you need to fight the best to be the best. You don't just come into this lane and then, you know,
is that his goal though, or is he just trying to do it for fun?
I think he's doing it for fun.
He's doing it for real. I think he's doing it for real. The way he's been practicing. Now you got his punk ass brother Logan calling out Floyd Mayweather like you're gonna really. You think he's gonna fight Floyd Mayweather? I don't think so. I think Floyd.
That would last a couple seconds.
Bro, you know.
Nah. Floyd's not like that. Floyd's not a knockout artist. He'll run around, probably tag him up a couple times, but
no, but he could do it with somebody who's inexperienced, like Jake Paul.
I don't know.
Because when he's like strategizing and like moving around, he's doing that with people who are more experienced.
Yeah, but that's not his style either, to knock people out.
Yeah,
he's more of a defensive fighter.
Like, put Gervonta Davis in the ring with Jake Paul. That one would be quick.
He would knock him. Oh my god, he would give him the special treatment.
Yeah, you know put Triple G in there. Triple G would crush his ass and like.
You know what the funniest part about that whole fight is? The fact that they fought over a whole stimulus check. They both got $600 for that fight.
God, that's right. So Nate Robinson got clowned by the entire social media world, the entire Twitter sphere, for $600, bro. He didn't even get like not even a 1,000, bro. But you know, I think that they're going to get, you know, $600 may seem, you know, small, and that's all that we know. But they're gonna get their money back from this whole situation because even bad clout these days are good clout. Look at Birdman, got cooked for the whole Breakfast Club thing. You guys remember when he pulled up to Breakfast Club, put some respect on my name, and he benefited from that. This man made a clothing line off of that shit. Nate Robinson, if Nate Robinson were to take any advice from this L that he's taken online, capitalize from it, own it. act like you like it, even if you don't like it. Act like you like it, so people will leave you alone. Because all people online ever do is they bother you because they know it bothers you. Once they see that it doesn't bother you anymore, they fucking stop. Simple schoolyard bully rules. You ignore the bully goes away.
Fair enough.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? YouTuber versus basketball player got knocked the fuck out and posted it on YouTube. And it went crazy as shit in like the first like 10 minutes. YouTube's algorithm just loves pushing out bullshit, man. They love pushing out fucking stuff like this. NBA player gets knocked out. How about let's push out this live stream? How about let's push out some more positive stuff that we got going on? That would be fantastic. Like the Frankie Steves interview that we just dropped today. How about you push that one instead? Because you got good local link up with a barber / musician. That kind of stuff is super dope. Great content. Can motivate people based off of his story. Frankie Steve's very poised dude. You can learn a lot of lessons from that one. Definitely go check that one out. It's on the channel. So on to the next topic. I seen that Lil Nas X did a performance. Like I think it was like a Roblox performance. Now I thought it was live, which is why I thought of this topic, but I still think it's interesting to touch on anyways. Now we're starting to see musicians like Travis Scott and Marshmello, the first two that came to my mind, that are doing performances in the video games. Like Fortnite is the perfect platform for these artists to come and perform their shit and have a big audience. You don't have to socially distance, or I mean, you don't have to, be out and about. You can socially distance. You can fucking do it right in the middle of the game. Millions of people. Is this the new wave now? Are we going to start seeing people do this more often, guys? Can you see this being a future where there's going to be less concerts in person and more in video games? Or do you think that's a stretch?
Well, first let's talk about like how much success was the first video game concert? Was that Travis Scott's? Was he the first one to do it?
Yeah.
Nah, Marshmello did it first. He did it before.
Who's that?
Marshmello, the DJ, the EDM DJ.
Oh, okay. And then how much did he benefit off of it? Like, did he break any records?
Yeah. But Travis destroyed everything after that when he did his.
Did record sales go up for him? Like, was he talked about a lot in the media after that?
Travis Scott went on a tear. Like he was dropping music with Kid Cudi. He was fucking #1 on the billboards at the time, with whatever songs he had out. This guy Travis had an incredible year. I think this was still this year. So he's been having a great like 2-3 year run. And then you include the Fortnite concert where he had, I think 14 million people was the most for one of them, because he did a couple of them throughout the entire world. Some in Asia at different times, some in Europe at different times, and some in North America at different times. And in North America, one of them was 14 million, I think the first one. So that was crazy. And now you're starting to see McDonald's, stuff with Travis Scott. We talked about it here on the channel.
How come the second concert in North America didn't do as well as the first one? Was he performing the same thing?
Yeah, same exact thing. People
that's
consumed it.
probably why.
Yeah. So the first one he did went crazy, but it was like the same one, like throughout a couple of days span. But Marshmello's one was the one where really Travis Scott must have looked at it and called his agent like, yo, we're about to do some shit. And this was before quarantine when Marshmello did his, right? Honey, that was before COVID happened. Marshmello did his. It was, right? So that wasn't even like a concept for like the future. Now I feel like since Travis did it, we now seen recently Lil Nas X doing the Roblox thing, and it really makes you start thinking like, damn, is this the future? Is this the future of music and live performance?
Only if we continue to be quarantined, but not everybody plays video games who are fans of these people. Like, it's not the same thing as seeing something live. So I don't think so. When we get virtual reality or something, maybe, and then you can like watch something live, but there's still people that want the real thing. Like being there, being able to interact with him like in person is way better than interacting with them virtually. So
that novelty is still tough though.
In the near future, like within the next 20 years, I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say it's not the new thing. It's not the new big thing. It's not gonna replace live concerts, but there might be some while we have like quarantine. Um, but it might be like an occasional thing. I think they'll stick to doing live concerts where they'll make even more money.
Would y'all ever go to like? Have you seen those pictures of people going to concerts within their own little mini bubble,
Yeah, that's
like
tough.
being outside? Would you want to do that?
That looks
or would
scary.
You want to be able to
I would definitely do
scary
that.
how?
Scary how? I will feel claustrophobic in there, and I'm not even that much of a claustrophobic person, but I know there's other people out there that are. And I was looking at some comments from people when I saw a picture of that on Twitter, and they're like, "Oh fuck no, I would never. I would be so afraid. Like, what if I want to like get out of there? Like, it looks so hard to like get out."
I don't think it was like a fully encasing bubble, but I get your point.
Yeah, I would definitely do that, bro. What about you, Brooks? You going to the bubble performances?
I'm definitely going to a bubble concert, man, because I would love to go see a live concert soon, as soon as possible.
Who's the last concert you went to go see? Probably been a minute, huh?
Yeah. Damn, that's a good question. I think the New Year's Eve concert at the Fillmore.
Okay, who's performing?
Like Wale was there. That's when I caught it when Wale was there. Just had a bunch of like local artists there too.
What about you?
It was alright.
There's a lot of concert heads out there. Pedro, you're more of a concert head than me. The last time I went to a concert that I can remember was probably like 2017 or something. I'm not really one to go to concerts. But what I know, you've probably gone to like dozens of concerts, right, Pedro?
Yeah, the last one we went to was a while ago, though. Probably like 2018, the last time we went to one. 2019? I would say no later than 2019.
So I said that live concerts aren't going to go away anytime soon. Do you guys think that they're going to do you guys think that they're going to be going away anytime soon?
It really just depends on what happens, man. Like if COVID is going to be a problem,
it's not.
Let's say if
they're
is
over time, you realize how it's not that bad of a thing. The media is like hyping it out like shit.
That's what I was about to look. I was gonna say this: if, and I'm saying a super strong if, only if COVID is going to be around for 10 years or more.
No, it will. It will. Just like the flu. We're just going to have to live with it, but it's not that bad. Like we're going to develop antibodies for it, and it's just going to keep hitting us like how the flu hits us. It's in the same family. Do we have to quarantine for the flu? It's just something that we deal with and we treat, because this is something that we've been dealing with for like centuries, even beyond that, millennia.
All I'm saying is if it's still at a point where there's still regulations where people cannot be going outside, and it happens often throughout a 7-10 year period, live concerts will probably start to, if not go away completely, they'll be on the brink of extinction, because that's too much time lost in that industry. They're going to start trying to think of new shit to do. Artists as well. Already there's hella artists that are suffering tremendously from not being able to do live concerts, because that's the bulk of their income. They don't really make money.
I don't know. I see that backlashing, man. I see that, like, if they keep us inside for that long, it's gonna backlash, unless you're thinking about a very dystopian future.
I'm not saying I'm thinking that. I'm saying if that were to happen. I personally don't think it will, and I think that live concerts are definitely going to come back. The moment that there are the green lights to do that, they're already doing live concerts in other parts of the world. So at some point, we're going to get to that point as well. I don't think it's going to be like that movie that they dropped, the COVID 2024. It's fucking ridiculous. That's not about to, like, they want people, they really want people to think that. That's the last concert we went to.
They were they were making it out to be like this is like super deadly, like lethal virus. Like if you get it, you have like a less than like over 50% chance of dying from it.
Anybody in the chat see that? Did anybody in this live stream see that fucking COVID 2024 movie where there was a complete ripoff of I Am Legend? Tarsha Burris put a bunch of money emojis. Yes.
Tarsha Burris. How's it going?
Tarsha Burris. You have the same last name as this one football player that I used to like in middle school called Plaxico Burris.
Plaxico Burris.
He's a beast. Even though everyone shit-talked him because he shot himself in the leg, he is a beast, and I love that dude. He's one of my first favorite football players. So
I remember that day, too. That was crazy. Shout out to...
Yeah, shit. Double it up. We got to put more money for the next one. All right. But yeah, man, that's what I like. COVID is not going to be that crazy. I think that, like, by next year, there's already going to be, you know, vaccines. There's going to be a lot less regulations and stuff like that.
Question it. No, I'm like telling people, like, don't rush out to get it if you don't know the consequences for it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a completely different conversation.
I was just talking to yesterday, Capital Hoops. Mark Stern, he called me, a friend of mine. He called me and he was asking me about the vaccine too, after wishing me happy birthday. And he was saying that he was gonna get it like regardless. And he had it back in like he had COVID back in like March, April, and he said he felt like super awful. He was really exhausted, this, that, and the third. So I can completely understand that. But then his wife was saying the opposite. She was with me saying, "Oh no, I don't trust that vaccine yet." And
he has the antibodies now.
His wife has like the stronger antibodies. But I know he probably does though. I never asked him about it, but I know his wife has the stronger antibodies.
Yeah, damn. I mean, I was having this conversation the other day, like, I wouldn't be in a big rush to go get this vaccine myself either, because I want to know exactly what I'm putting into my body, and I want to know exactly how this is going to, you know, affect the general public before. And I don't know if it sounds selfish or not, but
it's not selfish, bro. It's not. It's not because it's not selfish.
I know, and I'm not shaming people that want to either. You know, like you were saying, like, you know, people shouldn't do that, but, you know, like, without knowing what they're putting in their body, consequences,
just
whatever.
Be conscious of it.
If you feel like this is your best, you know, in your best interest, by all means do it. I'm just saying.
Just say do what you want. Don't tell them do it. Just say do what you feel is best.
Yeah, definitely do what you feel is best. But I wouldn't. I'm gonna wait. And you know, if all goes well, the vaccine will help out. Big thing for this country. We can finally go back to going inside of stores without wearing a mask.
Look,
go back to having less regulations and stuff like that for you know, curfews and shit like this. You know,
there's other countries that have beaten COVID already without a vaccine.
Yeah, but they also had more collectivism in them too. We're just too individualistic here. We're too worried about our personal.
We're too worried. The people in charge are worried about profit. That's why they want their names attached. Fauci wants his name attached to a vaccine and be on the history books for it. He's concerned with profit.
I would say that everybody else also. You know how people are around here too. They're too worried about themselves, not everybody else around them.
All right, what would you guys do if they start making this a thing? Like, you can't work for us. You can't work for this company unless you take this vaccine. You can't travel to this country or you can't travel to this state unless you take this vaccine.
Depends on the job.
Or what if it goes to this extreme? Like, you can't go to this concert unless you're vaccinated.
Oh, then you know, then I won't care. What do you mean? Like oh, you have to take a vaccine to get into a concert?
Yeah.
Oh, then probably not. I mean, I'm not gonna do all that for a concert. If it's like a job that I'm dreaming of having, it's like this is the job that I've wanted my whole life. It's gonna set me up. Yes, but if it's like some
You
small
would take
shit,
the vaccine for that dream job?
absolutely, no question, no
And
question.
what if then you don't get to enjoy that job because then you suffer from long-term effects?
I'll die. I'll die knowing I got hired by my dream job, and I'll be happy.
Uh,
You wanted my
what do you
question, and there's my answer.
what if what was I gonna say? What if they attach like a stimulus to it? Like you can only get this stimulus of $1,500 per month if you get the vaccine.
That makes me even more suspicious of it.
Hey, bro.
No, because
so much more
that's
suspicious.
what John Delaney from Maryland, who's a politician from Maryland, was proposing.
Wait,
I saw that too.
wait. Repeat it. What was he doing?
He put out a tweet. He was like, I propose that we attach a $1,500 stimulus for people to take only if people take the vaccine. Like, so only if you take take the vaccine, you will receive a stimulus of $1,500.
Well, it depends how long it's running for. If it runs for like a long ass time, and I can see how the vaccine is affecting people, oh, it's doing well. Well, I'll hop in there and take the vaccine, and then I'll make my
Don't
money
you think
too.
that's kind of like coercion? Like you're forcing people to take it, like people who are in
Absolutely.
desperate situations, like financial
100%.
situations, like to take it even though like they don't know like what's in it and they don't know the long-term effects.
Of course,
And
absolutely.
something again, we talked about this like before, something that has a 90 to 95% success rate, even though there's a 99.95% survivability rate.
Right.
And that's if you get it.
Still, I mean, if they're going to offer people money, they want to take it, they're going to take it. Are they taking advantage of people in situations that need more money? Duh, obviously. That's the whole blueprint of this country, is to take advantage of people that need money. So that's nothing new there. If we're talking about,
It's
you
not
know,
okay though.
yeah, I mean, that's unfortunately
Doesn't
like
mean we
right
have
now
to
this moment, how it is.
not do anything about it. We got to change that.
Yeah, I agree. What are some things that we could do to change that, or to influence change that, or influence somebody that could change that?
Make them realize that that's not okay. Like for your government to take advantage
Well,
of you, like they're
yeah,
supposed to represent you and take care of you regardless, not force you to take something and only give
What were you
you
saying,
money
Pedro?
if you do that. They're supposed to give you money anyway. Like we are the workers of this country. We are what make this country function, not the few wealthy individuals. So the money, like the prosper of our country, belongs to the people, not a few wealthy individuals. Like Jeff Bezos, those billions of dollars that he has, that doesn't belong to him. That belongs to his workers who made him that rich. The success of the country should be for the people.
guys, definitely no. But what I'm saying is like, how do you get through to somebody that can influence real change? Because us being on, on here talking about it, obviously is us doing our part, but we can't change it from sitting here in our chairs. You know what I mean? So that's why I ask, like,
Organize with your community. Inform, like have like meetings with your community in which you're informing yourself about what the literature says about the vaccine. Like get into like agreements about what you want that's best for your community, and then pressure your politicians from your community to do the things that you all find together as a democracy is best for the community.
agreed. I definitely that's a good one. Definitely, like people underestimate the power of local government, and how you know that's where you got to start.
And
And
don't be like
eventually,
waiting around like, oh, like I know all this. I'm gonna wait until like other people like start doing it. No, like you can lead. You can start doing it. If you have that knowledge, you have more of an opportunity to become a leader than somebody who hasn't received that knowledge yet.
definitely. But yeah, that was an interesting topic there, talking about vaccines. I didn't think we were gonna get into that, but obviously,
Oh,
and
it's
this is
because we
one.
were talking about virtual reality concerts.
No, but that's cool though. That was a
Yeah.
good side combo. I was gonna say one thing to keep in mind. This is more for us, but um, I think we should start doing this, kind of having these kind of conversations within other topics without necessarily titling about it. You know what I mean? Because YouTube is particular, we should say. But that's all. That's all I'm gonna say. We can
Super
talk.
particular.
We can talk more about that, in detail later. So, but that was really it, honestly, for all of our topics.
No, should we
Today
kill?
today is December 1st, right? I think now we could probably go ahead and start closing it out here. HMO live stream episode 11, and here we are, December 1st. What a
You know
year it's been.
what you reminded me of? Uh, and I have a question for you guys too, but on a TikTok that I was watching, there's like this like guy who went to like a buffet, and you know how they give discounts like if you're like a certain age, like below a certain age, they're like
Yeah.
they're like how old is your son? He's like he's 12. He's like I'm not 12. And then like they're all looking at him, and then he was just like I'm 11, and they're like oh. Because then you get the discount. Has that ever happened
And
to you guys? Like where your parents tell you to like lie about your age so that you can get like a discount?
sometimes it used to work back then, every now and then, but
I did that.
yeah.
I did that like a year ago with my cousins when we were going to go see a movie. I wanted to get like the little child tickets. I told my youngest cousin, "Oh, dude, you're like, say that you're 5 years old this today, something like that." He's like, "No, I'm not. I'm 6. I'm 7 years old. Say you're 5 years old so we can get the cheaper tickets." Like, all right, I got you, Brooks.
That's what's going on, everybody. 14 people watching right now. December 1st. Hear me out.
Crazy, man. 2020 just flew by.
So, what a fucking year, man. 2020 has had its ups, its downs. We've had personal wins. We've had, personal, plights within our lives. Obviously we've had everything happening in the world. The fact that we're all here December 1st and we got air in our lungs is a blessing, right? The fact that we get to, I opened the fridge the other day and I was just like, damn, man, like I honestly cannot remember the last time that the fridge was like hella empty. Small shit, you know what I mean? The pantries having stock, fridge having stock, just waking up, being healthy it's an amazing thing. And so many people, have untimely fates that we'll never know. It could anything can happen to anyone. So we always try to make sure that we stay close with the people that we care about, tell them that we care about them.
Oh, there is one thing we didn't talk about on HMO, which is also a sports channel. Is we didn't talk about the passing of Maradona.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Rest in peace to him.
I had posted about that on Instagram, but we didn't like talk about it. Maradona, man. One thing I want to say is this: 2020 took two of the most legendary athletes of all time. Arguably, people consider Maradona to be the greatest soccer player of all time, or if not, like top 5, somewhere in that range. Obviously, he wasn't a healthy dude. In the 80s, he had, his addiction, and, just overall didn't eat very well once he wasn't a professional soccer player. But the dude was a lively person. He was a bigger than life personality. He was one of the most competitive, athletes and competitive humans, after his sport. He was very into, he was into politics. I seen like he would be
He was
with
very
a lot
active. Yeah, he cared a lot about poor communities because he himself came from a poor community. So he was very involved with socialist presidents like Hugo Chavez and Evo Morales, and also Fidel Castro. So he was very involved in trying to help poor communities with his activism. There was one I saw that one time he showed up at like an event where George Bush was there, and Maradona showed up with a shirt that said with George Bush's face and said "war criminal."
Oh wow.
Yeah, Maradona was a ballsy guy. He's like has that Dennis Rodman type personality. Like he's very, you know, strong on his opinions, strong on his actions, and just unfortunately he could not get past the health issues that he was dealing with over the span of his 60-year life. 60 years, way too young. Rest in peace to the soccer legend Maradona. A lot of people had mixed feelings about him. A lot of people hated him. A lot of people loved him, just like every other athlete. It's like with LeBron, like fucking, you name it. Cristiano Ronaldo, you name it.
Yeah.
They love it and hate it. With all these athletes, and even with the ones that people say they hate, like if you see him in person, you might not have that same energy. Like, I don't know, but I was gonna say with me with Kevin Durant, I bet if I seen Kevin Durant in person, I don't know if I have that same energy. I'd be like, oh shit, this guy is fucking tall as a motherfucker. But so one common thing that Franco asked me, and I think someone else asked me too. One common thing that people tend to think about when they think about Maradona is he played for Argentina. Argentina arch rivals with Brazil. How does that make a Brazilian feel when they hear Maradona is forget, this is before he died. When people call him the GOAT, when people say Argentina this, that, and third, I never had real, I'm Brazilian, but I'm really Americanized. I'm not part of the Brazilian culture where it's like there's that feeling of animosity towards that country in terms of like a sports sense. You know what I mean? I know cousins of mine and uncles of mine that say, fuck Argentina, this, that, and there. I don't care like that. You know what I mean? I really don't. When I see Argentina play, I'm like, damn, they're really fucking good. Messi's really good. At the time, they had like a really nice goalie. I don't even remember his name, but Argentina is just always a good soccer team, and I'm a fan of good sports. So whenever I see it, I respect it. When I see Maradona highlights, he's the man. Like, he's the greatest Argentine football player, maybe him and Messi. Maradona's probably up there because he won a World Cup. Messi hasn't. That man had he had the it factor that big athletes need to have to be successful. He definitely had that. Him and Pele, they're like, up in the air, like, old time sports goats, like soccer goats. It's up to them two with me, but I've never been a Maradona hater, never really been a real Argentina hater, maybe sometimes, but nothing too crazy. I'm pretty fucking Americanized. So ask my family, they don't bang with it. I'm sure they probably respect Maradona and the battles that he gave us back in the day, but
I remember
that's them.
I remember when I was given a gift of a Messi jersey, but for Barcelona.
Right.
And then I wore it that day, and then I wore it to your house, and then I realized, I was like, oh shit, like when I got there, I was like, I'm wearing a Messi shirt in a Brazilian house. And then your family there was there, like your parents' family, friends, and they're like, they're like, you chose a bad day to wear that shirt.
But you set yourself up, man, because Latino family members, you already know how they are. They get to cutting everybody up, cooking the shit out of anybody that they can, and just kind of make you feel uncomfortable. But I'm just joking. Don't worry about it. You know what I mean? You're just like, yeah.
Yo, shout out to Christian Rice saying what's up to
Christian?
us.
What up?
Christian.
Yeah, man, Christian, what'd you think of that? Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr.? That whole bout, the dude from our hometown, Silver Spring, Maryland, he was fighting before everybody. I think he was the first one in the undercard. Silver Spring, Maryland, this dude got his ass whooped. He got knocked out with a body shot.
Damn.
Shit, crazy.
Who's this? Who got knocked out?
He didn't actually get knocked out. He was
It was
just
a
like
TKO. He was getting beat, but like he was getting crushed with body shots. Like, it's some dude from Silver Spring. Yeah, he said it was crazy. Some dude from Silver Spring, Maryland. I don't remember his name. But he got his ass whooped. And then Badu Jack was the next one up versus some other dude. Still kind of random, but Badu Jack was going in on this guy. Oh my goodness. And the other dude was eating the hits. That was a good fight. But the Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr. fight, while it was interesting, it was just like, damn, this is what boxing has come to, man. Like, you got 55-year-olds coming out of retirement. Shit is crazy, bro. Like, let's see the new, superstars of the sport. Let's give the limelight to these new guys. I'm not hating on Mike Tyson at all. I thought it was a cool fight, but, let's give the spotlight to the new guys. You know what I mean? The people that are coming up off of the inspiration you gave them. Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr., two of the greatest boxers of all time.
I think that the funniest part to me was the fact that and what was it, the ring, not the ring announcer, but one of the commentators was like, oh, like, Roy Jones, how does it feel to be fighting after so long and blah blah blah. Mike Tyson's like, how come no one gives a fuck about me? I haven't fought in 16 years. How come no one gives a fuck about me? It's only been out of the game for 3 years. I thought that was great.
Yeah, 3 years ago, that Roy Jones Jr., he's old as dirt himself, man. Like, in terms of being an athlete, no athlete over the age of 50 should be doing anything unless you're playing golf. Boxing,
tennis, or jogging.
Or jogging, man. Go fucking run cross country at that age, man. But, dude, it was a cool fight, though, man. Don't get me wrong, because Mike Tyson was looking like he was in great shape. He was crushing Roy Jones. If it was a decision fight where it was like if it was a title bout, Mike Tyson would have definitely had the belt. I don't even think he would have gone even harder than what he did if it was a title match. But that Jake Paul shit with Nate Robinson, a complete joke. Whoever set that up, if Nate Robinson's agent needs to get fired today for setting that shit up. Today, he should not have a job anymore. Nate Robinson has been retired from the NBA for so long. He's half of Jake Paul's size. And bro, as soon as he took his shirt off, I knew he was going to lose the fight. This man had no definition on his muscles, bro. Like, his chest was looked like the hamburger titties. You know what I mean? Like, they're starting to fold over a little bit. And he had no muscle. And Jake Paul was like, that man is built, bro. And he's tall. And he got long arms. Did anybody really think Nate Robinson was going to win that fight? Whoever really thought Nate Robinson would win that fight is a crackhead.
Why did he reach out to Nate Robinson in particular? I never asked that in the beginning.
No, that is a question for Jake Paul and God, because I can't answer that one for you.
Were they talking shit beforehand? Like, why Nate Robinson of all people?
I think they just ended up randomizing it or something like that. Hart just reached out to a whole bunch of people, and Nate Robinson was the first one to pick up the phone.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Look, I bet Jake Paul probably hit up other people he could probably be even easier, and then they were just like, nah, hell no, I'm not about to go in there and get crushed on national television. But Nate Robinson, shit, $600 don't sound too bad. Yeah, I'll do it. He needs to get fired, or his agent.
It was for $600,000.
$600.
Like
600.
$1 600 times. That's what he got paid to get knocked out, clowned by everybody.
That's so little.
Group.
Half of that stimulus check that we got back in March or April.
If pretzel stick versus hamburger minus. Who's the pretzel stick? Jake Paul? Bruh, Jake Paul, man, if he were to fight, let's say, who's somebody that's more his size? Like, if he would have been in the fight before, the guy that Badu Jack beat, that guy would beat Jake Paul. Matter of fact, I think any of the fight, maybe even the Silver Spring guy might have given Jake Paul a little more bump. You know what? I'm gonna try and find that Silver Spring guy and get him on the podcast. I would love to get his story on the experience of being out there and how did it feel to be boxing before Mike Tyson and shit like this. I really want to ask this guy that question. I saw his Instagram. He got less than 2,000 followers, so I don't think he'd be the kind of guy to ghost people on a DM. You know what I mean? So I think we should reach out to that guy and get him on the podcast.
When you talk about Silver Spring fights, I always think about that classic Glenmont fight.
I'm from Glenmont. Bow, bow.
Story time. I fought that guy in high school myself, and
the Hispanic guy.
Yeah, the guy who said I'm from Glenmont. Because
did he say that to you?
No, he didn't. Not to me. The Glenmont thing happened after. So we were in high school, and we had this thing where he would just look. I guess one day, one of my friends called him a bitch, right? And then we were in a car So he looks out the window, says, "Yo, you're a bitch," to this kid, and then I'm staring out the window. Homie puts his head back, and then the guy sees my face. I didn't see anything because I didn't know the guy. Was like, "Who you calling a bitch?" I'm like looking for, and the guy looks at me like, "Oh, all right, that's what you think. All right, all right." So from that point on, he held this grudge with me for months until one day he randomly came up to me because I made a joke, or no, someone cooked him on Twitter. I retweeted it. He comes up to me, "Oh, you laughing at me?" Boom, punches me in my face, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And I just hit him with like a mean ass, like all I had time for. I just hit him one time as hard as I could, and he fell backwards. And then a janitor just comes out the cut and like tackles him, and like next thing
He
you know,
tackles him after he got punched.
like
Oh, shit.
not tackles him, but like chill, stop fighting. Gotta go.
Was this in school or was
Appreciate
this
you
outside?
Say again.
Was this in school or outside?
This was in the school, right next to the cafeteria. I was
That's
like
hilarious.
just getting out of class. I'm still kind of tired. I'm just like,
Bro,
I'm
you
like-
got into
like-
so many fights in school. I remember you told me some guy went up to you and asked you like, "Hey, were you talking shit about me?" And then you're like, "Yeah." And then and then he punched you and you guys started fighting.
yeah, I don't, bro. The whole high school experience was fun for me, man. I did everything. I was single. I was taken. I got into altercations. I got suspended one time. You know what I mean? Like, not to glorify that, but to say I maximized my experiences in high school. I did good shit. I did bad shit. And overall, I had a lot of fun. I never will look back on my high school days and pray and wish that I could change anything. Like, you know, a lot of people have regret for that time in their life. Sometimes I think to myself, fuck, I regret I didn't play, you know, focus on my studies more and become a college athlete. Because I feel
Well,
like if I were taking it serious, I could have played college football. But I didn't take it serious. But outside of that, man, I had good stuff, bad stuff, middle, you know, everything on the spectrum. High school was fucking lit. I enjoyed it.
regardless if it was good or bad, like for anyone, like it's in the past. Like it's not in the present moment. So there's nothing you can do to change anything. So just be at peace and work with what you can now.
And not only that, like if it was bad, and I mean like bad to the point where it like affects your mental health years after the fact, understand that the bad shit that happened in high school is going to be the main reason you become successful in your adult years, because it motivated you to be not feeling how you felt or to be a better version of yourself, so you don't go through that same hurt, you know, that you did in high school. You will never have to like duplicate that. Use it as a fire under your ass to get something going, you know what I mean? And you know, it's easier to say it than it is to do it, but it's so easy once you get started.
Just,
The hard part is
yeah.
started after.
It is easier to say than to do, because then other people are like, "Oh, you don't understand like how bad it was and how much it's affected me." Look, read like books about like self-help and human psychology and consciousness and all that, because that can help you out.
There's always a way.
Yeah, like there's other people out there in this world that have gone through similar things as you, or maybe even worse, that have been able to better their lives, like how Pedro was saying. So they can offer you their professional or their professional experience to you about how they overcame that stuff. Which one way is like focusing on the present. You know, that stuff in the past, it's not happening anymore. Like it's gone. Like just focus on the now and what you can do in the present moment so that you can continue to prosper.
Yo, I always say it, man. There's no such thing as losses, man. Wins and lessons all day. You know, if there's a lot of lessons, then there's a lot of learning going on. If there's not, then you have to, you know, really dig deep down. You know, there's always a lesson to learn from everything. When you do good shit and bad shit, there's always something to learn. What happened? Jelly is just laughing his ass off.
He said
What
Mike
happened?
Tyson got his ass whooped.
Oh, he said that?
Yeah.
Mike Tyson got his ass whooped.
Mike Tyson did not get his ass whooped. What fighter were you watching? Ride Wretch.
Are you trolling?
Yeah,
Ride
Ride
Wretch Jelly.
Mike Tyson. Where'd you see that? I don't see that comment.
Right below
Mike Tyson-
Christian Rice, where he said, "Y'all are cool, gotta go, but I'm gonna give y'all a sub." Red
All I
Rich said
that's a
Mike
laughing
Tyson.
It's just laughing emojis. Yeah, and that's it.
and more laughing emojis. Yeah, I don't see nothing about Mike Tyson, but Mike Tyson
Really?
did
I
not
see it right here.
Hey,
Mike
Ride
Tyson.
Rich, do you really think Roy Jones won that fight? He was putting in work though, man. He was eating Mike Tyson hits to the face. That's something for that fucking old ass man. Both of them old ass.
Look,
man.
I pinned it. Do you see it?
Oh, there now I see it. Mike Tyson got
Every time they clinched, Mike Tyson was just throwing like little slight. Oh, it was hilarious.
Boy, Mike Tyson did not get his ass whooped. But I will give Roy Jones this. He didn't get his ass whooped either. I think that Mike Tyson won from like a point stand. Like, if you look at it just from scoring wise, Mike Tyson won. But nobody really got their ass whooped there. Not even Roy. Yo, that shit had me watching Roy Jones Jr. fucking highlights after that. That man had a nasty prime, like, as a boxer. This guy was like just disrespecting people, putting his gloves down, leaving his face open in some matches, like dancing around in the canvas. He was nasty, bro. He was nasty. All right, y'all. I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up with that one. Hear Me Out Podcast live stream episode 11. We're always vibing out in here, man. Pull up, leave a like in this video, subscribe, and turn on the bell, be part of the Noti gang. You don't want to miss out on any of these videos and live streams. Turn on the notifications.
Also, the Discord.
Another one. And join the Discord, too. I'll drop that in the description as soon as this video becomes public. We'll have the Discord for HMO Podcast and for Frank Analysis.
And if you don't, we're going to knock you out like Jake Paul did. Knockout.
Nah, like Gervonta did. Like Gervonta
Tank did.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. We'll catch you guys next week.